Hey Canucks fans, do you want to see the Lotto Line reunited for the start of this season? I'm Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Thursday, September the 1st. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. It is September the 1st. That means the Canucks are coming into town as we speak. Some of them are already skating, as we've seen. That means this is the month where it's Young Stars, training camp, preseason games. Canucks tickets are on sale. It's starting to feel like the Canucks season is truly around the corner. I'm back in my familiar confines of my car, looking forward to daily vlogs from here on in. And I hope you're excited because, as you know, I'm very excited about this upcoming season. So really quickly, two things I want to say real quick is because it's September the 1st, we are 10 days away from the launch of my nightly YouTube show. So starting Sunday night, September the 11th, I'll be going 5 times a week at 11 o'clock, and I'll be putting it also up on a podcast. Subscribe now on Apple or on Spotify. It's Clay's Canucks commentary. Look up Clay's Canucks commentary and make sure you subscribe now. So I'm excited about that. And the second thing is I'm going to finalize my ticket list. We sell about 2/3 of our tickets. So I'll be putting that link up on my community tab. I'll put a link up on my community tab sometime over the Labor Day weekend, where you can then send me a message, and then I can send you the ticket list privately. That's probably the best way to do it, as opposed to you leaving comments down below. So I'll announce that later on this weekend. Okay, let's talk about what I want to talk about, and that's the structure of our forward group, and in particular, the Lotto Line. We know the Lotto Line is put together in the first year JT Miller was here. It was Miller, it was Pettersson, it was Boeser. Of course, Boeser's number is 6. Pettersson's number is 40. Miller's number is 9, 6, 49. That is the name of a very popular lottery in Canada. Just in case, for some reason, one of you out there didn't know that that's how the Lotto Line name got started. It's 649, after Lotto 649. And obviously, that was a really good line. Petey was in the middle at that time. Miller was really good, and Boeser had a good season as well. And that line was one of the more prominent lines in the entire league for that season. Then last year, last couple of years, or last year and a half at least, they haven't played together because of the shortened seasons, injuries to any of those players. And really, what it come down to is JT Miller's amazing season last season was done mostly with him in the middle as a center. So now, instead of having Miller and Pettersson on the same line, you actually split them up. And that's kind of the big, I wouldn't say debate, I think it's a nice problem to have, is should Miller, Pettersson be reunited? It doesn't matter. If Miller and Pettersson are reunited, it doesn't matter. One of them's in the center, one of them's in the middle, one of them's on left wing, you have Boeser on the right wing. Because a lot of times, even when the Lotto Line was in existence, Miller would take the face-off. And then depending if they win the face-off and what zone they're in, or if they lose the face-off and what zone they're in, they would then adjust on the fly, so to speak. So a lot of times, yes, Pettersson was the center by name, but Miller was the one doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it came to the face-offs. Now, we have a bunch of new players this season, and in particular, let's talk about the forwards today. That's the point, is Hsmfangirl, Mikheyev, Lazar, and Joshua. And I don't think we have to worry about Lazar and Joshua as, potential top 6 guys, but Hsmfangirl and Mikheyev, you never know. So I guess the question I bring to you is, do you think the Canucks are stronger when the Lotto Line is together, Miller, Pettersson, and Boeser, or do you think they're better? You think the Canucks are stronger when they are split apart? And maybe the question is moot. Maybe we don't need to talk about it or it doesn't matter what we say or think. Well, it always matters, but you know what I mean in the big scheme of things. Because I think that Coach Bruce Boudreau is leaning towards having Miller in the middle and having Petey in the middle. Because I heard him on Sportsnet 650 yesterday, and he talked about having 3 of the best centers in the entire NHL. 3 of the best centers. Now, he didn't necessarily say they have 3 of the best lines or 3 of the best centers when they're on different lines. He wouldn't go that specific. But the way he was talking, I get the sense that he's going to split up Miller and Pettersson to have that depth down the Miller, Pettersson, Horvat, and then likely Curtis Lazar as your 4th center, and then Dickinson can battle Lazar for that position. And really, when you think about it, that's kind of how I look at the Canucks forwards. Is I think of not that anyone's going to forget who the forwards are, but I always think it's the 3 centers, Miller, Pettersson, Horvat. It's the 3 Russians, Podkolzin, Mikheyev, and Kuzmenko, and it's the 3 North American guys, for lack not because the centers aren't North American, but in contrast to the Russians. You know what I mean? It's Besser, Garland, and Pearson. So that's how I always remember the top 9. So that's who I'm going to focus on now. And then the fourth line will be a battle, I think, of Lazar, Dickinson, Dakota Joshua, and Niels Höglander. Those are the 13, and maybe Will Lockwood with an outside shot. But I really look at the fourth line as being a battle between Lazar and Dickinson for the middle, and then you can put one of those guys on the wing, or Dakota Joshua, or Niels Höglander. But if we're talking about the top 9 of the 3 centers, the 3 Russians, and the 3 North Americans, as I like to say, if you go Besser, Miller, and Pettersson together, yes, there's some familiarity. They play well together. Besser is looking to have a bounce back season. Pettersson looking to have a really good season continuing on his second half. If you do that, according to my top 9, then you're actually missing a center because you have Horvat as your second center. But then between the 3 Russians and Garland and Pearson, none of them play center. So in that scenario, if you put the Lotto line back together, then you could actually move Dickinson up to the third line. But then that means one of Podkolzin, Mikheyev, Kuzmenko, Pearson, or Garland would have to drop down to the fourth line to make space for Dickinson. I don't think the Canucks want to do that. So as much as the Lotto line is good together, I think that's why I do think that Boudreau will want to go with the 3 big centers down the middle, and then that way you don't lose any of the 3 Russians, Pearson, Garland, down to the fourth line. So if that's the case, if he goes Miller, Pettersson, Horvat down the middle, I don't worry about, Horvat that's such a waste because he's not a third line center. He's like a first or second line center, at least a second line center. Why put him down as the third line? Remember, a guy like Horvat, a guy on his wing might end up getting a lot of power play time as well. So I would rather have a really good balanced attack of 3 solid scoring lines and then a hardworking fourth line of a Lazar, Joshua, Höglander, or Dickinson. I'd rather have that than, say, a really good Lotto line, than a pretty good second line. You go Horvat and your choice of any of those other 5 guys, but then a third line centered by Dickinson or Lazar, not as strong. So let's work with this real quick. Let's say it's going to be Miller, Pettersson, and Horvat. Then we have to assign the 3 Russians and the 3 North Americans. You kind of think of lines in pairs sometimes. So I actually would kind of pair Horvat with Pearson because they played together quite a bit. I would pair Pettersson and Besser because I think they're both ready for really big seasons. And then I would pair Miller with Garland. So then you fill in the other 3 guys. Miller, Garland played with Pearson for a bit last season. So you could go Miller, Garland, and Pearson. But does that scream first line to you? I'm not sure. Then you could go Petey, Besser, and any one of you could go Petey, Besser, Kuzmenko, and that would leave like a Horvat, Pearson. That would leave Horvat with 2 Russians with Mikheyev and Podkolzin. That's not bad, but I actually prefer it if Pearson played with Horvat further down. So I would do this. I would actually go Miller with Garland, and then you could really slot in any of the 3 Russians. I would try Podkolzin there, actually. Let's say Podkolzin. So you go Miller, Garland with Podkolzin. That could be your first line. Then your second line could be Petey, Besser, and Kuzmenko. And then your third line could be Horvat, Pearson, and Mikheyev. And I don't worry that Mikheyev was promised top 6 and you say, well, Clay, you just put him on the third line. Because remember, these are 3 balanced scoring lines, and it doesn't matter what order. That means one of those 3 scoring lines is going to go against a third pairing D of the other team. And that's a really good thing. So yeah, if I know I keep changing this, I make a vlog about this every 2 weeks, but if it were me right now, that's what I would do for my 3 lines. I would go for the 3 top lines. I would go Miller with Garland and with Kuzmenko as the first line. Then I would go Petey with Besser and Podkolzin as my second line. And then I would go Horvat, Pearson, and Mikheyev as my third line. I would have all 3 Russians split up, one on each of those 3 lines. I've also seen configurations where you put both lines. You could put a Podkolzin and Kuzmenko surrounding any one of Miller, PD, and Horvat, and that would sound like an exciting prospect as well. So many, many options for this top 9 of the Vancouver Canucks, and really it starts with, do you put the Lotto line back together and then weaken your center depth, or do you keep them, you split them apart, and then you have stronger depth down the middle, and then you're running 3 scoring lines and a very balanced attack, making it hard for potentially the other team. So Canucks fans, I asked you 2 questions. Number 1, would you keep the Lotto line together? And based on your answer to that, number 2, if you don't keep them together, how would you line up the top 9 for the Vancouver Canucks? And you heard mine. Again, really quickly, I have Miller, Garland, Kuzmenko, I have Petey, Besser, Podkolzin, I have Horvat, Pearson, Mikheyev. That's my top 9. Would love to hear your top 9 down below. All right, Canucks fans, I'm excited. I hope you are too. As always, shout out to my sponsors, Perform and Transform, Personal Training, Weight Loss, and Advanced City Experts Real Estate Group. Thank you, legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Justin Credible, legendary Andrew Chang, and Hall of Fame and franchise members. And thanks to all of you for your support and for watching all the time as we continue on the road to 10 Clay. Subscribe if you'd like to. Like this video if you'd like to. Leave a tip, a super thanks if you'd like to. Become a member or upgrade if you'd like to. And definitely leave a comment down below if you'd like to. Split the Lotto line or keep them together. And if not, how would you compose your top 9 for this Vancouver Canucks team? If you made it this far, 11 minutes into the video, this is an easy one. It's September 1. It's the month of hockey. Let's just say September. September is the month. Put that in as our little code word, and then I know you made it to the end of this video. Okay, friends, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.